everybody, it's been a hot minute, but today we're going on a bike ride. The bike I'm taking out is the All City Super Professional with some modifications. One could say supple modifications. First are the grips. Stock grips, not my favorite. Quickly changed them to those silicone ESI grips I really like. And the next one, probably not a surprise, are the wheels and tires. The bike came stock with 700 by 38s, I think, which just feels so narrow and stiff. So I swapped them out for some Hunt gravel wheels, 650B, with some WTB Sendero. Interestingly, it only changed the weight by about half a pound, which is still pretty good, but less than I thought. But already I can tell the difference in how much more compliant the bike feels. Also, it feels a little quicker overall. With that simple change, it turned an already pretty quick feeling bike even quicker. Nice and stable with the big bars, even though it is a very quick steering bike. Just a quick stop to admire the view. Fall in Missoula is really good. No smoke, a little bit chilly, still some warm days, although the bears are going into hyperphagia, so they start trickling into the neighborhood and raiding the trash can. There's a local Facebook group here called Missoula Bears. Apparently we now have grizzlies up in the North Hills over yonder. There is a grizzly sow and 2 cubs making a residence pretty close to town, hence packing some bear spray. Safety first. Oh. Okay, another little climby bit, nothing crazy. I will say this bike not geared for the mountains, but then again it was designed for more urban riding, but could still be a super fun gravel dad bike. So what do we have here? Oh, more climbing. What a surprise. A little bit slick with the leafage, but these WTB Senderos do really well. Whew. So a little bit of fall color left. To the part of the ride. Still climbing, big surprise, but it really does get a lot chonkier, and where these 650Bs just make more sense. You know, it's good Kinderkoppen size terrain. It's still fairly rideable. I did ride these with the 700 by 38s. Totally doable, but far less pleasurable experience. Again, the Super Pro is supposed to be an urban bike, so not necessarily intended to do terrain like this, but I think it would be an awesome bike for terrain like this. Love this part. Just opens up, you can see the whole valley. Okay, so I thought I would stop at this beautiful spot and nerd out about the geometry a little bit. Some of you are gonna be wondering whether this is essentially a mountain bike, and I would say no. It's more like a flat bar cross bike. No suspension like a mountain bike, not as much clearance. It has a more or less level top tube, so you can't run the dropper, not the best crotch clearance for technical terrain. Pretty tucked like some mountain bikes, does not have the gearing of most mountain bikes. So while you can ride it on mountain bikey terrain, there are probably better suited bikes for actual mountain biking. So this is probably one of my favorite views on this route. So I call this the 1,000-foot log because by the time I hit here, I would have climbed 1,000 feet in just about 3 miles, so pretty good. It's pretty amazing that this is so close to where we live, and definitely one of the perks of living here in Missoula. I think I'm gonna flip it here, test out how the new supple tire conversion is gonna do, as well as the ESI grips. I have to say I much prefer this bike in 650B mode. Not only does it feel more compliant, you get a little bit of a lower gear, and it just seems to accelerate a little bit better. So let's see how it descends. Definitely handles really quick. Does not have mountain bike geometry where it kind of just self-centers. You really have to be on top of it to keep it straight. So it probably wouldn't be my first choice for a lot of extreme downhilling. But then again, you can adjust, you can adjust it pretty much anything. Now for the chonky stuff. So just got back from the ride. What is the verdict? For me personally, I think the bike is much improved with a 650B wheel and tire set. It dropped a little bit of weight, but probably more importantly, it just added more compliance to the bike overall. Another added benefit is that it lowered the gearing, felt the slightest bit more spinny than with the 700x38. Perhaps one downside, however, is that it made an already quick front-end steering bike respond even quicker. I think that would be a benefit in urban riding where you're making lots of really fast adjustments. But on descending rough terrain, you have to really micromanage the bike. It gets slapped around in the front a little bit. It's pretty interesting. I don't know what the exact trail number is. My guess would be at least the mid-60s, if not lower, with the 650Bs. Definitely quick to steer. It is kind of mitigated by the wider bars, but for me, the quickness of the front end is what really stands out. I think the rear is really fun and playful. It's in a tucked position. So to me, that translates to a really quick accelerating bike. When you stand up on a steep climb, the bike is kind of jumpy and spicy. Not everyone's preference. I know some people like a longer chainstay because it feels like a smoother bike overall. So far, I'm actually digging the Super Pro. I know lots of you guys give me grief for only riding drop bars, and trust me, I wish I could appreciate flat bars more, but I have wrist issues and a drop bar is just a better fit for me. Yes, even better than the flat bar with SQI mid-bar bar ends. I've heard all the stuff. Drop bars work better for my hands. But I am willing to go outside my preference zone and try out different bikes for the channel. And this one is surprisingly fun. Look for a full review in a couple of weeks. And if you like this content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, join us on Patreon. That is the best way to support the channel. And as always, keep the supple side down.